What is a Stoic mindset? When I say Stoic, what pops into your head? Mr. Spock from Star Trek? Or maybe some stone-faced guy who never laughs, never cries, and just stares blankly at a wall? Dead wrong. That's not a Stoic. That's a robot. Real Stoicism isn't about deleting your emotions. It's not about being numb. It's about not being a slave to them. If you're listening to this, I'm going to guess you're burned out. And I don't mean I just ran a marathon tired. I mean deep-fried, mental exhaustion. Look around. We live in the greatest country on Earth, in the most prosperous time in history. We've got DoorDash, Netflix, and supercomputers in our pockets. But look at us. We are the most medicated, anxious, and sleep-deprived generation to ever exist. We are addicted to the scroll. We are terrified of silence. You're probably asking yourself, I'm grinding 60 hours a week. I've got the car, the house, the toys. So why do I feel like I'm drowning? I'm not here to sell you a crypto course. I'm not here to give you some manifest your dreams fluff. I'm here to introduce you to an old friend, a guy who's been in the trenches for 2,000 years. His name is Stoicism. Now, don't let the toga scare you. This isn't some dusty philosophy class. It's not a religion. It doesn't ask you to sell your truck and move to a cave. Stoicism is special forces training for your mind. It is the operating system that keeps you functioning when the world is on fire. So, pull up a chair, pour a drink. Let's get real. First off, let's kill a myth. When I say Stoic, what do you picture? Spock from Star Trek? Some guy who never smiles, never cries, just stares at a wall? Wrong. That's being a robot. Stoicism isn't about deleting your emotions. It's about not being a slave to them. Think of it like this. You're a quarterback in the Super Bowl. You just threw an interception. The crowd is booing. You're angry. You're embarrassed. A weak man lets that anger consume him. He throws his helmet. He yells at the ref. He loses the game. A Stoic feels the anger, acknowledges it, and then gets back in the huddle to call the next play. Stoicism isn't about not feeling the hit. It's about taking the hit and keeping your feet moving. It turns you from a victim into a player. Who built this system? Not some professors in an ivory tower. It was built by guys who had skin in the game. Real skin. Number 1, Epictetus. Born a slave. His master literally snapped his leg in half just to torture him. He had 0 rights. But Epictetus said, "You can chain my leg, but not even God can chain my will." He went from slave to the most respected teacher in the empire. He taught us that even if you're in prison, your mind is the one thing they can't lock up. Number 2, Seneca. Think of him as the Wall Street tycoon of Rome. He was the right-hand man to the emperor. He had fuck you money, mansions, power, influence. But he lived in a shark tank. He knew he could lose it all in a second. Seneca taught us that money is fine, as long as it doesn't own you. He said, "It's not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Number 3, Marcus Aurelius. The emperor, the most powerful man on earth. He could snap his fingers and have anyone killed. He could have any woman, any luxury. But his life was a nightmare. Wars on the border, a plague wiping out his citizens, a wife rumored to be cheating, friends stabbing him in the back. He wrote meditations inside a cold tent on the battlefield, trying to keep his sanity. He wasn't writing for a publisher. He was coaching himself. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. A crippled slave. A rich politician. A warrior king. 3 different lives. 1 playbook. Whether you're working the night shift or running a Fortune 500 company, the rules are the same. Here is the core mechanic. The secret sauce. The dichotomy of control. Epictetus put it simply. Some things are up to you. Some things aren't. It sounds obvious, right? But look at your commute this morning. Someone cuts you off on the freeway. You scream. You slam the steering wheel. Your blood pressure spikes. Why? Because you're trying to control the other driver. You can't. That's an external. Here is the list of things you control. Your character, your actions, your perspective. That's it. Everything else, the economy, the election, your boss's mood, the weather, sports scores, is out of your hands. Think Think about Steph Curry shooting a free throw. He controls his stance. He controls his breathing. He controls the flick of the wrist. But the second that ball leaves his fingertips, it's gravity and physics. If he stresses about the ball after he shoots it, he's wasting energy. A Stoic defines success as, I took the best shot, not the ball went in. Stop tying your happiness to the scoreboard. Focus on the play. If you do your best and still lose the deal, shake hands and move on. That's the game. We tell ourselves stories that aren't true. We say, this traffic jam is ruining my life. My boss is destroying my career. No, the event is neutral. Your opinion makes it good or bad. Let's look at a classic American nightmare, flight delayed. You're at the airport. Flight is pushed back 4 hours. The average guy curses the airline, tweets an angry rant, gets drunk at the airport bar, ruins his day. Label, disaster. The Stoic looks at the board, says, okay, I'm stuck here. Opens his laptop, gets 4 hours of deep work done, or reads a book. Label, bonus time. Same event, different lens. One guy is miserable, the other guy is productive. When someone insults you on Twitter, X, or in a meeting, strip it down. They made noise with their mouth. They typed pixels on a screen. Does it physically hurt you? No. It only hurts if you agree to be hurt. Marcus Aurelius said, choose not to be harmed, and you haven't been harmed. Be Teflon. Let the dirt slide right off. In America, we keep score with dollars. The Stoics kept score with virtue, Arete. It's not about being a nice guy. It's about being a dangerous man who has his act together. For pillars, wisdom, knowing the difference between what matters and what's just noise. Justice, doing the right thing, even when no one is watching, even when it costs you money. Courage, and I don't mean just charging in a battle. I mean the courage to speak up when everyone else is silent. The courage to face a layoff without falling apart. Temperance, self-control, putting down the donut, closing the porn tab, going to the gym when you don't feel like it. Ask yourself, if my life was a movie, would I be proud of the character I'm playing right now? If the answer is no, rewrite the script. Okay, enough theory. Here are 3 tools to keep in your back pocket. Tool 1, negative visualization, the pre-mortem. Corporate America calls this risk assessment. Stoics called it premeditatio malorum. Start your day by thinking, what could go wrong? My car could break down. My credit card could get declined. The Wi-Fi could go out during the big meeting. You don't do this to be depressed. You do it so you're bulletproof. When the SHD hits the fan, you don't panic. You say, I knew this might happen. I have a plan B. Tool 2, Memento Mori, the clock is ticking. Steve Jobs said it best. Death is very likely the single best invention of life. You're going to die. It could be in 50 years. It could be next Tuesday. Most people live like they have unlimited time. They hold grudges for years. They stay in jobs they hate. When you realize the clock is ticking, you stop sweating the small stuff. You hug your kids tighter. You launch that business. You say what needs to be said. Use death as a motivator, not a depressant. Tool 3, Amor, Fati, love the grind. Don't just tolerate the bad stuff. Own it. Jocko Willink has a great philosophy for this. Good. Did you get fired? Good. Time to find a better career path. Got injured? Good. Time to focus on recovery and mental toughness. Economy crashed? Good. Opportunities are cheaper now. Turn every obstacle into fuel. The fire consumes everything. So how do we use this today? Social media. It's a comparison trap. You're looking at everyone's highlight reel and comparing it to your behind the scenes. A Stoic realizes validation from strangers is worthless currency. Post your work, share your value, and log off. Don't let the algorithm control your mood. Relationships. Love your partner, but don't try to possess them. Understand that everything you have is on loan from the universe. It makes you appreciate them more today because you know they might not be here tomorrow. The hustle. Work hard, but detach from the outcome. You can build the best product in the world and still fail. That's the market. That's life. Focus on the craft, not the applause. Listen, Stoicism isn't a badge you earn. It's a shower. You have to take one every day, or you start to stink. You're going to mess up. You're going to lose your temper in traffic. You're going to doom scroll at 2 a.m. That's fine. You're human. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is resilience. Every morning, put on your armor. Every night, look in the mirror and ask, did I run my day, or did the day run me? Don't be a leaf blowing in the wind. Be the rock in the river. Stay strong. Stay stoic. And let's get to work.